Today, we're out at Oak Meadows in Addison. You know, as I talk to golfers, a lot of them have played different sports in their background, and I want to encourage you to tap into your inner athlete. I don't know if you've ever noticed watching a baseball game or a football game, the commentator might mention that a player got caught on their heels. What do they mean when they say that? Well, usually they mean that the player wasn't ready to be an athlete and make the play. And quite literally, their weight may have been set up on their heels. As golfers, we can fall victim to that trap as well. In fact, sometimes when we grab the golf club, it tends to push us back where our weight quite literally gets set up on our heels. If you think of other sports and what makes a good ready position, you can imagine a shortstop, you can imagine a linebacker. They're going to get in positions where they have their hips out behind them. Their weight is not going to be on their heels, it's going to be up on the balls of their feet. Even someone who prepares to bump a volleyball or virtually any athletic setup that you can think of. So as golfers, I'm going to encourage you to make sure that you don't get stuck with your weight on your heels. Here's a great way to test it. When you're set up and in your ready position, make sure that you're able to go ahead and actually wiggle your heels. If you find that you're standing and it's easier to wiggle your toes than your heels, then you also might be stuck on your heels. So tap into your inner athlete, borrow a ready position from other sports you're familiar with, and get your weight up on the balls of your feet for your best balance throughout the golf swing. I'm Ed Stevenson, hit 'em straight.
Thanks, Ed. A new course has just opened in Chicago. Well, it's not exactly a new course. Creative and insightful architect Tom Doak has successfully transformed Course One at Medinah Country Club. Dave Lockhart has the story.
When one enters the gates of Medinah, you feel a mystique about the place. It certainly is one of the area's most prestigious clubs and home to renowned Course Number 3. But now, Course One has received a facelift that truly revitalized the original 1924 layout. Let's go back to the fall of last year when we first visited the site.
Well, the hard thing on an old golf course is to try to get away from exactly what's already there and try to see through and see what else you might be able to do. And that's really hard because everything that's happened on the golf course for 90 years kind of reinforces the plan that's there. The trees have all been planted for that. You know, just everything about the golf course has been about the routing that's in place. This golf course has the nicest trees that I've ever worked with. And we did knock down a lot of trees to do it, but we did it to highlight some of the beautiful trees that are here. You know, you just don't get to build a golf course out of parkland like this, a new golf course. That's a style that's almost gone away now because properties with big mature trees like this aren't available.
Before, it was a tightly tree-lined golf course where you could see the hole you're playing, but you couldn't really see much of the other golf course. As I'm sure some of your footage will show, when you get some vistas and views now of this golf course, that's the main thing, is that it's just opened up, and it's going to be two totally different experiences. When you play number 3 and when you play number 1, you're going to feel like you're in two different places in the country. It's going to be really neat.
Tom Doak is an artist when it comes to blending a course naturally into the landscape. However, he may be best known for his imagination with challenging greens. The contouring will make you think, and like any good golf course, it is key to be below the hole.
One of the main things we did here is build a whole new set of greens. And, you know, I think that's a big part of what makes a golf course great. You know, you want to have a lot of variety. You know, we're working in kind of a classic parkland style, so you don't get too wild with that. But at the same time, I think there's a lot more variety of the greens.
Fast forward to mid-June, and Medinah is ready to have a party and get Course One going after a nearly 2-year renovation. Check out the sand trap that was unearthed on the first hole in the shape of a camel, which is now the course logo. Architect Tom Doak calmly striped the ceremonial tee shot down the fairway and officially opened up this layout with a bang.
It's a very special night for Medinah. We have not had 3 golf courses in over 3 years, with the preparation for the Ryder Cup itself, and then the construction of this course. So it's a long time coming, and it's a phenomenal event. Everybody who has seen the course thinks that it's absolutely magnificent.
You know, number 3 is the golf course that beats you up. That, you know, personally, I wouldn't want to get beat up that often, but all my friends would, so, you know, I'd wind up over there a fair amount. You know, this one's going to be the one that fits in the middle and, you know, kind of touches both extremes. Some of the holes are really different, and you'll have to approach them in different ways, or you'll have to be careful about missing in different spots depending on where the hole is. And that's the kind of thing that's fun to keep going back out on.
The new design is also part of a water retention plan to help with flooding at Medinah and the surrounding community. As we've seen at Medinah, big-time PGA tournaments have been a part of the Chicago sports landscape for many years. The Western Open was a fixture at first Butler National and then Cog Hill. Once again, here's our Dave Lockhart with the latest on the BMW Championship.
In 2013, Conway Farms was a well-received host to the BMW Championship. And recently, it's been announced that the BMW will be returning to the wonderful Tom Fazio-designed Conway Farms in 2015. The FedEx Cup Playoff Showdown features the top 70 players on the PGA Tour.
Chicago's got to be one of the most incredible cities in the world for golf. Conway being one of many great courses there. I've played a few other around there, but Conway was a cool experience last year for the BMW. I played pretty well. I think I finished 13th or so, 15th. Had it going a little bit. You know, I didn't think there was a 59 out there, but apparently Jim Furyk did. It's difficult, it's challenging, but it's fair, and I really enjoyed it. You know, there's a whole mix of shots you have to hit off the tee, from 3-iron to driver and working draws, fades, and you got to be on your game there.
Last year's tournament was an all-star field with Zach Johnson taking home the trophy. It was the first time the tour had trekked up to the North Shore since the 1972 Western Open at Sunset Ridge Country Club.
Well, I believe it was a huge success in 13. You know, obviously from you know, spectator standpoint, the players really liked it. They sold a bunch of you know, hospitality. I think they did very well.
Even though the event is coming back to Chicagoland next year, there still isn't a permanent stop here. Many players feel that is certainly an oversight, including Jerry Kelly, a past winner of the Western Open at Cog Hill.
I myself think there should be a Western Open in Chicago all the time, or at least traveling around the Midwest. And when the BMW is not in Chicago, I think we should have a tournament in Chicago. The Western should be there. When the BMW is in Chicago, then I think we should take the Western somewhere else. That's my idea. I've always tried to get the Western Golf Association to do that.
I'm pretty sure if there was an organization in Chicago or a business that wanted to sponsor a tournament in Chicago and a course that wanted to host it, we'd probably have a tournament there. But I think sometimes it's you know, it's tough, and BMW I think probably wants to move it around, and so that's why where we are.
The Western Open has deep roots in our fair city, having started here way back in 1899. And Chicagoans have always supported our sports and our teams through thick and thin.
It's such a great sports city. I mean, I was watching obviously the Blackhawks, you know, the Bulls, the Cubs. There's a lot going for Chicago when it comes to sports, so it'd be great to have a golf event there every year.
I've certainly enjoyed my time in Chicago, and absolutely, I think it's been a long-standing event there, the Western Open and now the BMW Championship. The crowds have always been so supportive of the PGA coming into town. It's been a lot of fun playing there over the years. Hopefully we'll be back there for many years to come.
As a reminder, the 2014 BMW Championship will take place this fall at Cherry Hills Country Club in Colorado. Up next, we'll improve our flexibility at Athletico, plus see all of the good that can come through the game with the Sunshine Through Golf Foundation. Stay with us.